The Discarded Sword. Commander Elena Reyes stood in the vast empty hangar of Earth's orbital shipyard, her eyes fixed on the massive hull before her. The EA's Defiance, once Earth's proudest warship, now sat abandoned, scheduled for dismantling. Its titanium alloy frame was scarred from battles fought across 3 star systems, its once gleaming surface now dulled by space dust and neglect. "They're really going to scrap her," muttered Chief Engineer Marcus Way, standing beside Elena. His weathered face, etched with the lines of 20 years in space, reflected the same disbelief Elena felt. "The Galactic Conclave says our technology is obsolete," Elena replied, her voice tight with controlled anger. "Apparently, we're expected to be grateful they're offering us superior Conclave ships instead." 3 months ago, humanity had finally been granted provisional membership in the Galactic Conclave, an alliance of 17 spacefaring species. The price of admission: abandoning Earth's dangerously unstable propulsion systems, primitive weapons technology, and inefficient life support designs. The diplomats had called it harmonization. Elena called it surrender. "Superior my ass," Marcus snorted. "Their ships are pretty, I'll give them that. But I've seen their engine rooms. All sealed modules. Break one thing, replace the whole unit. No improvisation possible." Elena walked forward, placing her palm against the cool metal of the Defiance. "What do you think would happen if we didn't scrap her? If instead, we enhanced her?" Marcus raised an eyebrow. "With what? Conclave tech is proprietary. We'd never get access to." He stopped, a slow smile spreading across his face. "You're thinking about the salvage yards on Ceres." Elena nodded. "The Conclave doesn't care what happens to decommissioned ships, and there's a lot of interesting technology that finds its way to Ceres. Some of it even works." "This is insane," Marcus said, but his eyes sparkled with excitement. "We'd be violating at least 6 provisions of the Conclave Treaty. Only if we get caught." Elena turned to face him directly. "They've humiliated us, Marcus. Made us feel like children playing with dangerous toys. I want to show them what humanity can do when we combine our engineering with theirs." Marcus was quiet for a long moment, then sighed. "I know some people, good engineers who weren't happy about the decommissioning orders." He looked up at the massive ship. "She'd need a crew. A good one." "I've got a list," Elena replied. "People the Conclave doesn't approve of. Too independent. Too creative. Too human." 3 weeks later, the Defiance had been officially logged as scrapped, while actually being towed to an abandoned mining facility in the asteroid belt. Elena had assembled a crew of 40, all specialists who had been passed over for positions on Conclave vessels for various compatibility issues. Elena stood in what would become the new bridge of the Defiance, surrounded by crates of salvage technology from a dozen different species. Some had been purchased legally, others had fallen off the back of transport ships. None of it was supposed to be in human hands. "The primary challenge is power integration," Dr. Anya Capri explained, the ship's new systems specialist. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical ponytail, her fingers dancing over diagrams projected in the air. "Conclave systems use quantum pulse technology for power transfer. Our systems use electromagnetic induction. They're fundamentally incompatible. So we need a translator," Elena said. "Exactly. And we might have found one." Anya pulled up a new schematic. "This is from the wreckage of a Medusan scout ship. Their technology is unique, hybrid systems that can interface with multiple power sources." Marcus leaned closer to the projection. "I've never seen architecture like this. The Conclave allows the Medusans this level of deviation." "The Medusans aren't Conclave members," Anya replied. "They've resisted joining. Rumor has it they consider Conclave technology too rigid." "Smart," Marcus muttered. Elena studied the schematics. "Can we adapt this to the Defiance?" "With significant modifications," Anya said. "But yes, I believe we can create an integration layer that will allow us to power conclave technology with our fusion reactors. And if we can power it, we can control it. Elena finished. What about weapons? This time, it was Lieutenant Zane Jackson who stepped forward, the former weapons officer from the EAS Harbinger. That's where things get interesting, Commander. His accent carried the distinctive lilt of the Mars colonies. Conclave weapons are impressive, plasma cannons, gravity lances, but they're designed for traditional space combat. Predictable trajectories, calculated firing solutions. And, Elena prompted, and humanity's greatest military advantage has always been asymmetric warfare. Zane grinned. I've been studying the Axeri Dominion's shield technology that we salvage. It's designed to diffuse energy weapons, but it has a vulnerability to kinetic impacts at specific resonance frequencies. You're suggesting we use railguns? Marcus asked, surprised. Upgraded railguns, Zane corrected, combined with targeted EMP pulses at the shield's resonance frequency. The Conclave considers this approach barbaric, too unpredictable, too many variables. But if we can get a firing solution... Elena nodded slowly. We could penetrate defenses designed to withstand weapons thousands of years more advanced than ours. She looked around at her assembled crew. This is exactly the kind of thinking we need. We're not trying to match Conclave technology. We're creating something new, something unexpected. For the next 3 months, the Defiance underwent a transformation. Its hull was reinforced with salvaged Axeri armor plating. Its propulsion system was enhanced with modified Medusan field generators. The weapons systems were completely rebuilt, combining Earth's electromagnetic acceleration technology with conclave targeting systems. The interior of the ship resembled a patchwork quilt of technologies. Elegantly designed conclave control surfaces alongside rugged human interfaces. Exposed conduits ran alongside sleek alien technology. It wasn't pretty, but every crew member knew exactly how each system worked and, more importantly, how to fix it when it broke. The day they took the Defiance on its first real test flight, Elena felt a surge of pride as the massive ship slipped out of the asteroid belt and into open space. All systems nominal, reported Lieutenant Commander Risha Sharma from her station. Fusion reactors operating at 94% efficiency with the new containment fields. Stealth systems online, added Lieutenant Pavel Novak. We're broadcasting a commercial mining vessel ID. As far as anyone can tell, we're just another rock hauler. Elena settled into the captain's chair, salvaged from her previous command, and decidedly non-regulation. Take us towards Saturn's rings. I want to test the maneuverability enhancements before we... Commander, Risha interrupted, her voice suddenly tense. I'm detecting a vessel approaching at high speed. Axeri Dominion configuration. The Axeri, a militant species that had refused Conclave membership and instead carved out their own empire on the galaxy's edge. They'd been pushing into human territory for months, testing Earth's defenses and the Conclave's resolve to protect its newest member. Combat stations, Elena ordered, adrenaline surging. Stealth systems to maximum. Let's see if we can avoid. They've altered course, Pavel reported. They're heading directly for us. They see us, Commander. Elena's mind raced. The Defiance wasn't ready for combat. Half the systems were still being calibrated, and they hadn't run a single combat drill as a crew. Hail them, she ordered. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the angular features of an Axeri commander. His scaled skin was a deep blue, and decorative metal ridges highlighted his skull crest, marks of high rank. Unidentified human vessel, the Axeri said, his translator giving his voice a metallic edge. You are in violation of treaty space. Heave to and prepare to be boarded. Elena kept her expression neutral. This is a commercial mining vessel on a sanctioned route. We are not in violation of any treaty. The Axeri commander's mouth twisted in what might have been amusement. Your transponder codes may claim you are the mining vessel Sierra Madre, but our scans show military-grade power signatures and weapons emplacements. Surrender, or we will open fire. The communication cut off. Options? Elena asked sharply. Their ship is a Dominion striker, Zane reported. Fast, heavily armed, but designed for quick raids rather than sustained combat. Our shields should hold against their initial volley if we can get them online in time. The new engines can outrun them, Marcus added, but we'll need 3 minutes to bring the field generators to full power. We may not have 3 minutes, Elena replied. Weapons status. Main railguns need 5 minutes for proper calibration, Zane said. But we have the point defense system and 2 missile tubes operational. Elena nodded. Target their propulsion systems with the point defense. Load the missiles but hold fire. Evasive maneuvers. Full military power to the conventional drives. The Defiance leaped forward as its engines roared to life. The Axeri ship immediately gave chase, plasma bolts streaking past the Defiance's hull. Shields at 60% and holding, Risha reported as the ship shuddered from a near miss. Field generators at 40% capacity, Marcus called out. 2 more minutes until we can jump. The Defiance shuddered again as a plasma bolt found its mark. Port side armor compromised on decks 3 and 4, Pavel reported. Automatic seals holding. Shields down to 32%. Return fire, Elena ordered. Point defense only. Give them something to think about. The Defiance's smaller weapons blazed, sending slugs of dense metal accelerated to tremendous speeds toward the pursuing Axeri vessel. Most were deflected by the alien ship's energy shields, but a few found their mark, leaving scorch marks on its hull. Field generators at 70%, Marcus reported. 1 more minute. Another hit rocked the ship. Shields critical, Risha shouted. We can't take another direct hit. Elena gripped the arms of her chair. All power to the field generators. Now, the lights on the bridge dimmed as power was diverted. The Axeri ship closed in, weapons charging for what would be a devastating blow. Field generators at 97%, 98%, 99%. Marcus counted. The Axeri fired. Now, Elena shouted. The universe seemed to stretch around them as the Medusan field generators activated, creating a localized distortion in space-time. The Defiance lurched forward at impossible speed, leaving the Axeri plasma bolt to pass harmlessly through the space where they had been moments before. We've cleared their sensor range, Pavel reported, relief evident in his voice. Course set for the asteroid belt. Elena released a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. Damage report. Nothing we can't fix, Marcus replied after a moment. But that was too close. Elena looked around at her crew, faces tense but determined. The Defiance performed better than we had any right to expect in her condition. But we're not ready yet. Her eyes hardened. The Axeri will report this encounter. We need to complete our upgrades before they come looking for us again. She stood, addressing the entire bridge. What we're doing here isn't just about one ship. It's about proving that humanity deserves its place among the stars, not as junior partners who abandon their own technology, but as equals who can contribute something unique. She placed her hand on the bulkhead of her patchwork ship. The Defiance is just the beginning. As the ship limped back to their hidden base, Elena knew they had crossed a line. There would be no going back now. The Defiance had revealed itself, and the galaxy would soon take notice. Part 2. 4GD in fire. They hit another colony. Elena looked up from the tactical display, where she'd been reviewing the Defiance's new shield configurations. Dr. Anya Caftry stood in the doorway of the makeshift war room, her face grim. Where? Elena asked, though she already suspected the answer. Proxima Centauri, the New Eden settlement. Anya handed over a datapad. The Conclave peacekeeping force was conveniently delayed. By the time they arrived, the Axeri had already left. Elena scanned the report, her jaw tightening. 300 dead. 2,000 displaced. Critical infrastructure destroyed. The same pattern as the previous attacks on human settlements. The Axeri would strike fast, cause maximum damage, and withdraw before the Conclave forces could respond. Then the Conclave would express their sincere regrets and promise better protection in the future. The Conclave has issued another formal protest to the Dominion. Anya continued, her voice bitter. I'm sure the Axeri are trembling in their boots. 6 weeks had passed since their encounter with the Axeri patrol ship. 6 weeks of feverish work, transforming the Defiance from a patchwork experiment into something that could truly be called a warship. The crew had grown to 60, as word spread through certain channels about what they were building. Elena tossed the datapad onto the table. What's our status? The integration matrix is fully online, Anya replied. We can now power all the Conclave and salvage technology at full capacity. Weapon systems are at 92% functionality. The main railguns are operational with the new targeting systems and the shields. That's the best part. Anya smiled for the first time. Marcus and his team have done something remarkable. They've combined the Axeri resonance technology with our own electromagnetic field generators. The result is a layered defense system unlike anything I've seen before. Initial simulations suggest it could withstand sustained fire from vessels 3 times our size. Elena nodded slowly. And the jump drive. Fully operational. We can make 4 jumps before requiring a reactor cooldown. Elena was quiet for a long moment, weighing options, calculating risks. Then she straightened. Notify the senior staff. Meeting in 30 minutes. When the command crew assembled in the war room, Elena wasted no time. She brought up a holographic display of the Proxima Centauri system. The Axeri attack on New Eden follows the same pattern as their previous raids, she began. They hit hard, cause maximum civilian casualties, and withdraw before Conclave forces can respond. Classic terror tactics, Lieutenant Zane Jackson observed. They're testing Earth's resolve and the Conclave's commitment to protecting us. And finding both wanting, Elena said grimly. But there's something different this time. She magnified a section of the star map. According to intelligence from our unofficial sources, the Axeri battle group hasn't returned to Dominion space. They're holding position here, in the Kuiper belt of the Proxima system. Marcus frowned. That's unusual. They normally retreat immediately. Exactly. They're waiting for something. Elena met each of their eyes in turn. I believe they're planning a larger attack, possibly on the main colony. Over 20,000 civilians. The Conclave must know this. Risha said. Surely they're sending ships. They are, Elena confirmed. A response fleet is en route, but they're still 18 hours away. The Axeri could strike at any moment. Understanding dawned on their faces. You want to intercept them, Marcus said, with the Defiance. We're the only ship with any chance of reaching Proxima Centauri in time, Elena replied. With our enhanced jump drive, we can be there in under 4 hours. Commander, Pavel said carefully, the Defiance has never been in real combat. We've run simulations, yes, but facing an Axeri battle group. He left the rest unsayed. I know what I'm asking, Elena said quietly. This isn't why most of you signed on. You wanted to prove a point about human ingenuity, not fight a war. Anyone who wants to stay behind can do so. No questions asked. No one moved. Finally, Marcus spoke. When do we leave? 3 hours later, the Defiance hovered at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system. Sensors extended to their maximum range. The ship still bore the scars of its hasty construction. Exposed conduits, mismatched hull plating, jury-rigged control systems. But beneath the rough exterior lay capabilities no other vessel in human history had ever possessed. Axeri battle group detected, Pavel reported from the tactical station. 1 heavy cruiser, 2 destroyer-class vessels, and 4 fighter carriers. They're on an intercept course with the main colony. Elena studied the tactical display. The Axeri force was substantial, far more powerful than the Defiance even with its upgrades. "Time to intercept?" she asked. "At their current speed, they'll reach the colony in 52 minutes, Pavel replied. "And the Conclave fleet? 15 hours out, minimum." Elena nodded grimly. "Just as we thought." "Options?" Zane leaned forward. "The Axeri will have their shields configured for Conclave weapons, high-energy dispersal, quantum disruption fields. They won't be expecting kinetic weapons, especially not our modified railguns." "Even so," Risha interjected, "we're outnumbered 7-1. We can't take them head-on." "We don't need to defeat them," Elena said. "We just need to delay them until the Conclave fleet arrives." She studied the tactical display a moment longer, then made her decision. "Here's the plan. We'll use the asteroid field here as cover and approach from their flank. Target their engines first, immobilize rather than destroy. Once they realize they're under attack, they'll have to break off their approach to the colony." "They'll come after us," Marcus warned. "Counting on it," Elena replied. "We'll lead them on a chase through the system, use the planetary bodies and asteroid fields to our advantage. We're more maneuverable, and our jump drive gives us tactical flexibility they don't have." The crew exchanged glances. It was a desperate plan, but no one offered a better alternative. "Battle stations," Elena ordered. "Stealth systems at maximum. Let's make humanity's first impression a memorable one." The Defiance slid through space like a predator, its newly integrated stealth systems rendering it nearly invisible to conventional sensors. They approached from behind Proxima Centauri's largest gas giant, using its radiation belts for additional cover. "Weapons hot," Zane reported. "Railguns charged and target solutions loaded. Shields at maximum," added Risha. "Power distribution optimized for combat maneuvers." Elena took a deep breath. "Target the lead destroyer's propulsion systems. Fire when ready." The Defiance shuddered as its main railguns discharged, sending hypervelocity projectiles streaking toward the unsuspecting Axeri vessel. Simultaneously, focused EMP pulses struck at precisely the resonant frequency of the alien shields. The effect was devastating. The Axeri shields flickered momentarily as the EMPs disrupted their coherence, allowing the railgun projectiles to penetrate and tear through the destroyer's engine section. "Direct hit," Zane called out, unable to keep the excitement from his voice. "Target's primary propulsion offline." The Axeri battle group reacted immediately, ships breaking formation and turning to face this unexpected threat. "They're locking weapons," Pavel warned. "Multiple targeting systems active." "Evasive pattern Delta," Elena ordered. "Bring us around the moon and prepare for jump point Alpha." The Defiance twisted in space, its hybrid propulsion system allowing maneuvers no standard vessel could achieve. Plasma bolts and energy beams lanced through the void where they had been moments before. "The cruiser is launching fighters," Risha reported. 16 small craft inbound. "Point defense systems online," Zane responded. "Countermeasures ready." The space around the Defiance lit up as its defensive systems engaged the incoming fighters. Several were destroyed immediately, but others closed in, their weapons finding their mark. The ship rocked violently. "Shield holding at 82%, Risha called out. "The layered configuration is working." "Jump drive charge," Marcus reported. "Ready on your mark." "Execute jump," Elena commanded. Space distorted around them as the Defiance vanished, reappearing moments later on the far side of the system. The remaining Axeri fighters, their targeting systems suddenly locked on empty space, scattered in confusion. "Status of the Axeri fleet," Elena demanded. "Pursuing," Pavel confirmed. "Just as we hoped. They've abandoned their approach to the colony." For the next 10 hours, the Defiance led the Axeri battle group on a deadly chase through the Proxima Centauri system. They would appear, strike with devastating precision at engines and weapon systems, then vanish before the full might of the Axeri fleet could be brought to bear. Each engagement left the Defiance more damage. Its hybrid systems strained to their limits. By the 11th hour, they were running on emergency power, with shields below 30% and one railgun completely offline. "We can't take another direct hit," Marcus warned, his hands dancing over the engineering controls as he rerouted power from non-essential systems. "The Conclave fleet?" Elena asked, wiping blood from a cut above her eye. 2 hours out," Pavel replied. "But the Axeri are closing in. They've adapted their tactics, Commander. They're predicting our jump points." Elena studied the tactical display. The Axeri had indeed learned quickly, positioning their vessels to create a net that would catch the Defiance no matter where it jumped next. "Then we do something truly unpredictable," she said. "Set course directly for the Axeri cruiser." "Commander," Risha questioned, certain she had misheard. "They expect us to run and hide," Elena explained. "They won't expect us to charge straight at their command ship, especially not now." Understanding dawned on Marcus's face. "The resonance cascade." Elena nodded. "Exactly. Zane, repurpose our EMP systems. I want a full spectrum pulse at every known shield frequency simultaneously." "That'll burn out the emitters completely," Zane warned. "We'll have no electronic countermeasures after that." "We won't need them if this works," Elena replied. "Prepare for close-range engagement. All remaining weapons to target their bridge and weapon systems." The crew worked frantically, reconfiguring systems that were never designed to work together into something the enemy couldn't predict. "Axeri cruiser in visual range," Pavel announced. "They're powering weapons." "Take us in," Elena ordered. Full military thrust. The Defiance surged forward, its engines glowing white-hot with overload. The Axeri cruiser grew rapidly in their view screen, a massive vessel bristling with weapons, its black hull gleaming in the light of Proxima Centauri. "Weapons range in 10 seconds, Zane reported, his voice tight with tension. "Shields at maximum forward," Risha added, diverting all available power. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. "Now," Elena shouted. The Defiance released its full arsenal at point-blank range. Railgun slugs accelerated to relativistic speeds, salvaged plasma cannons glowing with destructive energy, and most importantly, the resonance cascade. The electromagnetic pulse erupted from the human vessel in a visible wave, striking the Axeri shields at exactly their weakest point. For a brief moment, nothing happened. Then the alien shields collapsed completely, leaving the massive cruiser exposed just as the Defiance's weapons found their mark. The bridge erupted in cheers as the Axeri cruiser's weapons went dark, its engines sputtering and failing. "Direct hits across all targeted systems," Zane reported, grinning fiercely. "Their weapons are offline, and they'd lost main power." But their victory was short-lived. The remaining Axeri destroyers, witnessing their flagship's defeat, converged on the Defiance with renewed fury. "Jump drive status," Elena demanded. "Offline," Marcus replied grimly. "The resonance cascade overloaded the control systems. We're not going anywhere." "Shields down to 17%, Risha added. "Hull breaches on decks 4 and 5. Automatic seals holding for now." Elena tightened her grip on her chair as the ship shuddered under another hit. They had stopped the attack on the colony, disabled the Axeri flagship, but it seemed the Defiance wouldn't survive to witness the arrival of the Conclave fleet. "New contacts," Pavel suddenly called out. Multiple vessels dropping out of FTL. The view screen shifted to show a fleet of sleek ships emerging from faster-than-light travel, their hulls gleaming with the unmistakable design aesthetic of the Galactic Conclave. "They're early," Elena breathed. The Conclave ships immediately engaged the remaining Axeri vessels, their advanced weapons making short work of the already damaged destroyers. Within minutes, the battle was over. "We're being hailed," Pavel reported, surprise evident in his voice. It's the Conclave flagship." The view screen activated to reveal a Thraxi admiral, a tall, slender humanoid with iridescent skin and elongated features. The Thraxi were one of the founding species of the Conclave, and notorious for their rigid adherence to protocol. Human vessel, the Admiral began, his translator giving his voice an artificial precision. You have violated numerous Conclave regulations regarding unauthorized military operations and prohibited technology integration. Elena stood, straightening her uniform despite the smoke and damage surrounding her. We have also prevented the massacre of 20,000 colonists and disabled an Axeri battle group with a single ship. Admiral. The Thraxi was silent for a long moment. Then, remarkably, he inclined his head in what might have been respect. Indeed you have, Commander. Reyes. Elena Reyes of the Earth vessel Defiance. Commander Reyes, the Admiral continued, my technical specialists are most interested in how your vessel was able to penetrate Axeri shields with such effectiveness. Our own weapons have been significantly less successful in recent engagements. Elena allowed herself a small smile. It's a unique approach to shield resonance technology, Admiral. One that combines Conclave principles with human engineering techniques. I see. Another pause. The Conclave Security Council will need to discuss the implications of your innovations, but for now, allow me to offer assistance with your repairs. After the Admiral signed off, the bridge of the Defiance was quiet for a long moment. Then Marcus broke the silence. Did a Thraxi Admiral just compliment human engineering? He asked incredulously. I believe he did, Elena replied, unable to keep the satisfaction from her voice. Risha laughed. They called our technology primitive, obsolete, and now they want to study it, Anya added. Elena looked around at her battered bridge, at the exposed wiring and jury-rigged systems that had somehow defeated a technologically superior enemy. The Defiance wasn't beautiful by Conclave standards. It wasn't elegant or refined, but it had accomplished what no Conclave vessel could, because its human crew understood that true innovation came not from perfection, but from adaptation. Get me a damage report, she ordered, settling back into her chair, and open a channel to Earth Command. Tell them the Defiance is ready to come home. As the Conclave ships surrounded them, offering assistance and protection, Elena knew that humanity's place in the galaxy had changed forever. They had proven they belonged not by following the established path, but by forging their own. What they had called useless, humanity had transformed into the most effective warship the galaxy had seen in generations. And this was just the beginning.